Welcome to D2 Bites, a show where a guest and I serve up quick conversations over snacks. My guest today is Alessio Martino.
Hello.
The Associate Creative Director at D2 Creative, and we're talking about building trust and understanding when designing for healthcare. What is the deal with stock art?
Oh, stock art. I mean, stock art definitely has its uses, but there's a lot of images that have just been getting way too overused. I mean, there's a typical handshake, but I think the one thing we're seeing a lot now, especially in healthcare, is the typical one with the doctor standing with his chest down, his arms crossed. And it's just, you've seen it everywhere, and it's not inviting, it's not warm, it's not what you expect from a doctor.
I prefer my doctors meaningfully pointing at a clipboard.
Yep, exactly.
You've designed for a bunch of different industries, but what about healthcare or medical devices is unique?
The stakes are just higher for healthcare. In retail or tech, if the messaging is not right on a website or the interface is not clear, you may lose a sale or a click. But with healthcare, you want the messaging to be clear because you have a lot of patients who are nervous, anxious, and you could delay treatment by not having the right information set up the proper way and directing them to the right channels.
So patients go to a website, they're nervous, they're anxious. What do you think might, from a design perspective, contribute to them being more overwhelmed, and how do you avoid that?
A website that's just full of text and tons of kind of avenues you could go and take when you first enter a website, that could definitely be overwhelming. So having minimal text on a homepage, even if you do have a decent amount of text, but make sure you're just conveying one message, or if you're trying to direct them to a certain way, you kind of write it in a way that you are going to direct them to that certain information that they want. Also helpful is making sure your navigation is set up correctly. Like you don't always have to fill the first page up with all the content. You can kind of tell the story with the navigation and have things in different pages to kind of build out your narrative where you're trying to say. So kind of taking all the content, laying it out in a smart way, utilizing extra pages, and just kind of build a story from that instead of just cramming everything on one page.
That's better for SEO too.
Yep.
If you're trying to rank for 10 keywords and you're trying to go for all of them on one page, it's just not going to happen.
Right. Make sure you're always clear and clarity when it comes to portals and dashboards and forms, which there's a lot of in healthcare. Make sure those things are set up properly, which is very important, because a lot of times it's very easy just to fill out a page with a bunch of questions and fields, but having proper supporting messages, error messages, confirmations, inline validation is very important, which not a lot of people use, which is very important, where you go to fill out a question and as you're answering it, it's incorrect. Instead of waiting till you go to submit it and having to go back, just have the message appear right there, fix it right now, and you can move on to the next question. That's always very helpful, and it keeps the form process going smoothly. Mm-hmm. And it's very helpful, again, when you're in a room and the doctor or nurse is filling all this out, they don't want to have to go back, just keep moving forward, and if it's laid out properly, they'll do that. It could be, you can still have some creativity with it, but make sure that they know that what you're trying to convey and what the UI is supposed to do. Make sure that's all clear. You don't want to try to make sure it's very clear.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I always want to be very clever in what I say, but yes, there is absolutely a time for that. I agree.
Yeah, that happens a lot of times with even like icons. So a lot of times with the icons, people try to be creative with icons, but like an icon on its own means nothing without a label, unless it's a icon that's used all over. So like the hamburger icon now, that's kind of everybody knows what that means. And that's okay, but like sometimes try to be creative with icon, make sure people know what it means, or just add a label with there, some kind of text that accompany it.
Right. How do you step away from that? Like, how do you separate yourself and have a more objective eye on things?
I always tend to, like, at a certain point, just stop and then just start sharing it around and just kind of get a totally different perspective.
How do you collaborate with developers?
I always tell them, I'm happy to work with you whenever you want, because I actually enjoy watching how they do it and learn how they do it, because then it helps you with the next project.
So I understand that you have a background in engineering too?
Well, I was always interested in engineering, how things are built and put together and how things should be put together. And that's why I really got into UX design and website design, because with that, you're kind of figuring out what people need and trying to deliver the message and delivering the ultimate outcome for them. And then to do that, you have to build things in a proper way.
Well, that's it for today's Bite-Sized Chat. Catch you next time on D2 Bites. Mike told me that you are like a well-known local artist in your family's
Definitely not.
town in Italy.
Probably not well known. I don't know if I use artists. So, but when I was in high school, probably about freshman year, the town where my family's from in Italy, someone had asked me to draw some kind of scene that's going to go in their church, and they ended up making this entire scene out of this metal plating that's still there today. And they all everybody goes there and looks at it. And I'm like, I drew this one night.
So I heard that from Mike. How did Mike know about it?
And I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.